We play and call it work.
Hey folks, Janene from MiniWarGaming here with another how-to video for you. In this video, I'm going to paint a brown shell base on this Gale Force 9 Wolf Mini. I painted the fur a shiny black color, so I wanted to paint the base brown so that it would contrast and the two wouldn't blend in together too much. I'm going to start by using dryad bark. I'm going to dry brush this color onto the whole base area. I want to make sure that I get all of these rocks. It's sculpted to have a lot of really sharp lines, just like it's broken shale or something like that, and doing a dry brush is going to help accentuate all those lines. And doing this dark brown is going to give me a really nice dark base to start from. After I finished with my dryad bark dry brush, I'm going to do another dry brush of Gothor brown. This is going to be pretty much over the whole base. However, I'm not necessarily going to make sure that I get the areas that are going to be in shadow, like underneath this rock ledge or the areas right next to his paws. I'm kind of concentrating it more in the areas that I want to be a little bit brighter. After this dry brush, I want to do a dry brush of Bane Blade Brown. And this one I'm really concentrating on the edges of these rocks where the ledge kind of breaks off, just so that I'm starting to create more of a highlight on those areas. I'm picking browns that are a little bit more neutral and don't necessarily have a lot of saturation in their color, just because I want it to kind of be a little bit like a warm gray in the rock. After I finished with the Bane Blade Brown dry brush, I'm going to do a dry brush of Carrick Stone. Again, this is just a really soft dry brush catching the edges of these stone ridges to make them stand out. Also, doing all of these progressive dry brush layers really adds a lot of color to the brown of the rock, and it's going to make it look a lot more like a natural texture. Now that I have all my dry brushing layers done, I want to deepen the shadows and blend all of these different browns together. I'm going to do that by applying Carrick's Earthshade on the top of the base. I want to apply it to all of the rocks as well as all of the dirt particles that are sculpted onto the base. This shade is going to sink down into all of the cracks and really deepen those shadows. And having that darker shadow is going to make our light color stand out even more. I'm going to paint this the consistency it is right out of the pot. However, I want to make sure that it doesn't get too thick anywhere. So I'm going to put it on my brush. I'm going to apply a little bit to the base, and then I'm going to use my brush to move it around and make sure that I get an even coat in all of the nooks and crannies and it doesn't pool anywhere. Once the Carrick's Earthshade has completely dried, I want to go back with my Carrick Stone color. I'm going to mix a little bit of Lamian Medium into my paint, and I'm going to apply this with a traditional wet brush. And I just want to do a line highlight on some of the edges of this ledge. I don't necessarily need to pick out every sharp line. However, catching a few of them is really going to accentuate the broken rock look and make these edges really stand out. I also want to make sure that I only highlight the rocks, and I want to leave all of the small particles of dirt that darker color, because the goal here is really to make this rock formation look really jagged and sharp. Once we've highlighted all the edges with that Carrick Stone, we're going to go back in and we're going to use a little bit of Ushapti Bone. This is also mixed with some Lamian Medium. And we are going to do a super highlight in some of the corners, any area that we think would catch the light and be a little bit shinier than the rest of the rock, and anywhere that we feel like needs a little bit more visual interest, a little bit more pop. I don't need to apply a lot of this color. I'm really just dabbing a few of the corners to make them seem even sharper. Alright, and after that final highlight of Ushapti Bone, the brown shale on this base is complete. The next step will be to go back in and add some elements of snow and ice to really make this look like a frozen wasteland. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more how-to videos, I have another one where I paint some blue cloth on a Tzeentch Herald in the MiniWarGaming Vault, in the link down below in the description. If you don't already have a Vault membership, you can go ahead and click the link, sign up for a 7-day free trial, and get access to my tutorial, as well as hundreds of other videos in the MiniWarGaming Vault. So go ahead, click the link, start your free trial, and happy wargaming!